This video is sponsored by PotownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCG code cards. Want to start playing competitively? It's very easy to do so with instant email delivery with the codes, and they have a huge variety of codes up on their website, reaching from league battle decks, specific promo codes, or even the latest booster packs in town. So definitely check out PotownStore.com, and you can use the coupon code ZapdosTCG for 5% off your next order. How wonderful is that? Also check out cardmarket.com. This is a European platform that I personally use every day. If you're a European player, you're obligated to check out the link in the description below. We're going to be able to check out Card Market, and you can buy cards and sell cards to people all across Europe, so definitely do so. You're going to be helping me out a ton. So definitely enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace! What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and welcome back to our TCG deck profile video on my channel. We are still exploring the amazing decks from Battle Styles very early on, so you guys know which cards you want to collect from the set when it finally drops in March. And this time around, Victini VMAX is on the menu. I'm a huge fan of Victini VMAX, to be honest. People might think it's not one of the good cards because there's better damage output VMAXs for fire types out there. Think about Scorch VMAX, for example, but this does have quite the appeal because you can hit a huge amount of damage against V Pokemon, which is nice because all V Pokemon eventually evolve into VMAXs, and if you go first with this deck, which is something you always want to do, you can actually punish them by using the Ninetales with the 9 Temptations, or maybe the one-off Boss Doors to just knock out something like an Eternus that already has an energy attached to it because you slap 220 damage. So we're going to be checking out the Victini VMAX first because this is the only new card from this archetype, so you only need 3 copies of Victini VMAX. There's also a new Victini V, but I suggest you play the one from Sword and Shield, and the reason for that is that with the energy burst attack, I think it's the second attack, you can actually slap more damage with the Victini V, definitely against matches that use a lot of energy. Think about Pikarom, think about Victini, opposing Scorch with a huge amount of energies, then you can punish them with the Victini V. So this Victini VMAX has the Spreading Flames attack as its first attack, and you can use the attack to accelerate up to 3 fire type energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you like. So this could be nice if you are whiffing out on the energies. You can spread some energies around, so maybe you can even include a Heatran GX in here because Spreading Flames with Heatran GX seems very good. But I have to go for Blacephalon in this list because yeah, let's just face it, I'm like the Blacephalon guy in the community. So the reason for that is that Victini is the early lead where you can able to use the attack here. As you can see, it's second attack, 100 damage for only 2 energies. And if the opponent's active is a V Pokemon, you slap 120 more. So that's 220. That means almost all evolving V Pokemon just get knocked out. Pokemon that have more HP like Zamazenta get hit by weakness, so that's awesome. So this is the main approach, is like, oh, you're up against Scorch, you go first, you just attach to your Victini V. The only thing you will need is like an additional Vulpix on your bench or finding the boss's orders in the discard pile so you can abuse it with Eldegoss. And then the following turn you go into Victini VMAX, attach of turn. You don't even need Welder in this list, but there's 4 copies of Welder in here just because we're playing Blacephalon. And what we're gonna do afterwards is just go for 9 Temptation, Ninetales, drag that Pokemon that wants to evolve, Scorch or Eternus or whatever Pokemon, and you slap 220, which is awesome, taking your prize cards that way. Not only that, you can easily one-hit KO Crobats, which is nice. Crobats and Eldegoss as well. So you can just go 9 Temptation, get a Crobat in the active, slap it for damage, and you also get 2 prize cards. So Victini VMAX will be your early lead, taking like 2 or 3 prize cards. That's all you need to do. And then Blacephalon, as always, with Fireball Circus can get the job done on other 3 prize Pokemon, hitting them for an insane 350 damage output with, of course, getting lots of fire energies in the hand. There's 4 fire crystals in here just so we can get back the energies. Sometimes you discard a lot of fire energies with the Ninetales. So as you can see in this list, the Ninetales, there's a 3-2 line. It reminds me of Firebox quite a bit. You might think, oh, I want to be including Reshizard in here, I want to be including stuff like Heatran GX. Be my guest, but I opted to go for Great Balls. The reason for that is that you have 4 Communication, you have 4 Quick Ball, you have 2 Great Ball, and even have some Stellarish Jirachi to go along. It's a small package, only 2 Jirachi in here, but the thing you want to do here is just get a Victini on turn 1, as well as a Vulpix. That's all you need to do. The following turn, you evolve into Victini VMAX and evolve into Ninetales, and you should be good to go. You have 3 copies of Giant Heart, finding your fire energies to use 9 Temptation, drag something in the active position, attached to the Victini VMAX, and boom, you one-hit KO a V Pokemon. That's why I love this card so much, because almost all decks revolve, the VMAX decks revolve around a weak HP V Pokemon. Think about Dragapult, Eternus, Centiskorch. If you go first with this list, you're gonna have an awesome time. If you go second, you can resort to Blacephalon to just take your early prize cards. It doesn't matter, you have either Blacephalon or Victini VMAX, and the reason that you don't always need Welder is something I love so much. That's why we do have access to more cards in this list, like Great Balls and stuff like Quick Balls. All that in combination will allow you to get a first turn Vulpix and a first turn Victini. Now you might wonder, why is there a Boss's Orders in here when you always rely on the Ninetales? Well, the reason for that is that we do have Urshifu in the house, which is able to like one-hit KO the Ninetales on the bench. So you definitely need a Boss's Orders in here. And that could also like be the case if they like Cramorant snipe your Vulpix and they say, haha, you cannot boss anymore. That's where they're wrong. You have one boss in here, one Eldegoss, so that could be your saving grace. Sometimes, you discard your Eldegoss or you discard your Boss's Orders in the same turn. Sometimes it could happen like that, but you might have, of course, answers with this when the Ninetales is knocked out, because Victini V hunts on V Pokemon. As mentioned, Crobat, Eldegoss, those are the main victims, or evolving V Pokemon, so that's gonna be awesome. And the more VMAX decks become viable in the format, the better this deck will become, because this is gonna be one of the quickest decks. You always want to go first with this deck. It's like the Welder deck that wants to go first. Yeah, who could have guessed it, right? We already have enough decks that want to go second, like Centiskorch, etc. But this deck wants to go first, so if you go second, you can immediately go for Welder on Blacephalon and just try to go with that way, taking yourself a cheeky little prize card. And you also want to have Ninetales up, because then Victini VMAX can hunt 2 prize Pokemon. That's what you want to do. Okay. Moving forward, so we have only a small package of Jirachi in here and 2 Scoop Up Net. Sometimes the Scoop Up Net might help you out to just reuse this Stellar Wish, or you can sometimes get, of course, a Ninetales back in your hand when you need to create some bench space to slap down another Dedenne GX, because sometimes your bench space is occupied by something like Victini VMAX, a Blacephalon, a Crobat, maybe an Eldegoss, and yeah, you don't have the room for more stuff. So you can scoop up, sometimes you can use 9 Temptations, drag something into the active position, use Scoop Up Net, and you have yourself room for the Dedenne GX, and that's also something I see use of the Scoop Up Net. You might even think about including the Giratina with Dimension Breach in here, also a very nice Pokemon, because as mentioned, more special energies will get released thanks to battle styles. Think about a Battle Strike, energies. Think about Single Strike energy, Rapid Strike energies. Those are pretty solid. And you can discard those instantly with that Giratina. So it all depends on personal preference. I opted to go like Victini VMAX with Blacephalon, but you could be making some sort of a firebox. You could be including Cramorant in here. You could be including Heatran GX in here. You could be including a Dubwool in here. It all depends on your personal playstyle, but I'm just a Blacephalon player, so I said like, ooh, you're using Fire Crystals, you have 9 Temptations, you go for Blacephalon, so that's what I'm thinking. So early lead, Victini VMAX taking 2 prize cards, you probably will take a hit, survive a hit. So Victini VMAX, you can use Ninetales to knock out something like a Galarian Zigzagoon or a Jirachi or whatever. So you take 3 prize cards with Victini VMAX, and then in the late game, you take 3 prize cards with Blacephalon. That's how the deck functions. What else can I talk about? So yeah, that's about it. You just need to find Welder. So with the high amount of like Quick Balls, Communication, and Great Balls, sometimes you just find your Dedenne GX and go from there. But you don't always need Welder. Welder is nice, and it is mandatory for your Blacephalon to get for the Fireball Circus, but it's not the main supporter in here. So you might even think of including maybe like only 3 Welders in here and a research. It is just a thought process here going along. I would love to hear your opinion down below, what you think about Victini VMAX. Maybe you say like, we don't need Welder at all, and you can just go for like something else entirely, play like 4 research and like the Marnie stuff and just go for manual attachment. But in a format filled with Crushing Hammer, I'm not too keen on that idea, so I'm just still a fan of the 4 Welders in here. And as mentioned, we have Jirachi, we have Dedenne, we have Crobat, so we do draw ourselves quite a decent amount of cards. So the only thing you need to do, there's 4 Victini in here, so as soon as you get a Quick Ball, Vulpix, and you should be good to go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know by destroying that like button. Let me know what you want to see up next. There's still a lot of Battle Styles decks to be explored. I have an entire list of decks I still want to make, but I want to hear you guys' opinion. Which deck do you want to see first? that is a very nice input for the community, so you guys can choose which deck you want to see up next. Anyhow, have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks again for tuning in today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go check out PokedownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCGO code cards, and they have, of course, everything up on stock, and battle styles will come up on stock very shortly. So that's gonna be like next month, I believe. So yeah, that's about it. Use the coupon code ZapDosTCG for 5% of your next order. And also go check out cardmarket.com. If you're a European player, you can buy cards and sell cards to people all across Europe. Anyhow, have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.